Serious about business.
Serious about business.
JAMPRO aims to increase the export of non-traditional products and of course support the development of Jamaican MSMEs. To that end, they've partnered with the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association and the Jamaica Business Development Corporation to launch the third installment of Export Max. I'm Theodore Henry for Business Access TV. Stay with us.
It is good to be here, and it's a pleasure joining you for the launch of the third iteration of this program. This morning's event is a fitting tribute to the industry players and signals a great promise for the micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises and the importance that has been placed on export diversification. This launch seeks to build on the success of Exports Max 1 and 2, which together recorded over $2.2 billion in sales. Indeed, its previous success sets the stage for the implementation of this third iteration, which we are now undertaking on a much larger scale. Let me take this opportunity to commend the JAMPRO on conceptualizing and taking us this far with this program. And let's welcome our new Export Max partners, the Jamaica Business Development Corporation and the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association. With their strengths, we'll be joining forces to improve and efficiently manage and implement the program. And I'd like to thank our sponsors and future participants. You have signed up for a game-changing program that will have national impact. Jamaica has strong export potential and growing export capacity. The imperative for achieving greater export performance and thus realizing export-led growth and global competitiveness in our exports as part of the export strategy is therefore of extreme importance as we strive for national prosperity and wealth creation. In the globalized economy, it is critical that Jamaica becomes highly organized in order to be fully integrated into the world economy in a manner that allows us to elevate our position on the global value chain and supply chains. Jamaica has been standing still for too long. Standing still while our trading partners have been taking steps to implement best practices for business and trade-friendly environments. This ministry, therefore, through its agencies, is seeking to attain greater diversification in the export industry by achieving higher value addition in priority tech sectors, increasing the value of non-traditional export of goods through increased volume and higher value addition, increasing the contribution of services exports as a percentage of our overall exports, including our creative industries, and increasing penetration in existing markets and accessing new and emerging markets. Let me add to that the specifics, some specifics which I want you to implant in your minds. There are three distinct underdeveloped markets. Let me just mention what those three are. The tourism industry. Too much of the fresh and processed foods that they consume are coming in on the planes with the tourists, and we have the capacity to supply them. Second, CARICOM. 16 countries in CARICOM. All of them are net importers of food, fresh and processed. Yet, we export precious little to CARICOM, and we have the privilege of exporting it duty-free. And what's the third significant market? The Jamaican diaspora. In Canada, the United States, and England, the market is as big as Jamaica. Somebody from London told me recently that because they cannot get what they want in Jamaica, they import the stuff from Africa and slap a Jamaican label on it. Castor oil, by the way. a lot of castor oil that is now being sold internationally with the Jamaica label on it. The raw material is not from Jamaica. Unacceptable. So as government, we are committed to promoting brand Jamaica to the world, identifying new trade and investment opportunities in order to spur economic growth. My ministry will continue to work with critical stakeholders to enable them to capitalize on opportunities in the export market, as more than ever, greater focus must be placed on growing our economy through exports. One of the things that the ministry is committed to doing is changing the soft infrastructure that will support the growth of trading across borders. To this end, a few weeks ago, we launched a trade facilitation portal that will house the information about all the various processes that underpin trading across our borders. It is our vision that the trade information portal will be the central source of information that will ensure that if someone is an exporter, or even if they are dreaming about being an exporter, they need only to visit this one place that will provide them with all the knowledge they need to navigate the trading process. On the heels of this, we are also excited about the progress that we are making in implementing a single trade electronic window for the government, which will see all the various government processes integrated into a single online system that will allow for all trade-related transactions to be done online, supported by a robust risk management system to protect the country's borders and its reputation overseas. And so Export Max is only one more prong in the government's network of activities that will allow for the framework for each and every exporter to experience success, and ultimately for us to achieve economic growth and prosperity in Jamaica.
Dodgen Global offers a CPA scholarship program to team members who join our team. A career in accountancy at Dodgen Global is a great choice and can offer you excellent job prospects. We believe that an accounting education is the greatest gift you can give yourself or anyone else. Few gifts make as significant an impact as the gift of an accountancy education with a job. It's a contribution that lasts a lifetime in the form of learning, opportunity, and success. Join our team and get the opportunity to be part of our CPA scholarship program. This scholarships awards program will be administered by the HR department of Dodgen Global. Requirement: first degree in accounting. Employed at Dodgen Global. Willing to pursue the CPA examination. Here's how to apply. Submit application to Staff Accountant, Dodgen Global. Email sa@dodgen.com.
So, welcome. So let me start out by asking Dan, Export Max, I know Export Max started within JAMPRO. Why Export Max 3 and what makes it different this time around?
Okay, thanks Claude, and good morning ladies and gentlemen. We are so excited to be here at the launch of Export Max 3. Why are we doing Export Max 3? It's actually one of the programs that I'm proudest of in my time at JAMPRO. I think that, as the Minister said, export is one of our critical pieces, is critical in our lifeblood. It's in our DNA. We have to export. We're a small island nation. We have tremendous products. We need to take them to the world in a more organized, systematic way where we respect standards, we understand the adaptability of our products to market demands, where we understand the markets that we are trying to penetrate. Export Max is that program. The results that we got out of Export Max 1 and 2 show what a deliberate program can do, where you start by diagnosing what does the product need to be adapted to market demand, what evolution needs to go on in the company itself. So it's not just the product, but it's also the management that must have the right mindset to penetrate international markets. So we're identifying that demand, identifying the market trends, helping the companies to adapt their products, and that mentorship, which we brought on in Export Max 2, is a critical component, because the ones who are successful must help the ones who have not started yet or who have not yet been successful. So that was the innovation of Export Max 2. And what we decided in Export Max 3 is that to more than double the number of companies in the program, we really couldn't do it alone anymore, because Export Max is a really labor-intensive and brain-intensive project. It needs a lot of time spent hand-holding companies, explaining export to them, helping their management to be ready. So we really needed the help of our partners, and we're really, really proud and excited and energized that we have two such fantastic partners, as well as the other sponsors who have come on board, because we need more expertise, we need more hands on deck. Export is not easy. Standards in the international market are constantly becoming more critical, more difficult. So we needed partners on board who could help us to interpret some of the issues on the international market, some of the standards. You see, Bureau of Standards is on board, and also to help galvanize those exporters to greater effort and to greater understanding. And then we needed the business development side that JBDC can bring to really help companies to develop their business plans, develop their loan applications, to become more formalized, develop their bookkeeping acumen. We think this is one of the most important programs that JAMPRO and the country have ever created, because we think that this is an integrated way of taking our MSMEs the next step forward. We are very excited, and we just want to have more participation from the MSME community, because sometimes you don't know what you don't know, and it's when you start on that journey of trying to understand how do I get from point A to point B that you start to realize what it is you don't know and how and where you can find help. So really this is a plea to and a stimulus and an encouragement and almost a demand of the SME sector listening to us today. You need to get on board, because this program can change your life professionally and change your export horizons.
Okay. Valerie, you decided without hesitation, came on board. Why did you see training and capacity building as such important components for exporters?
Our logo speaks for what we do, which is business development in the fulsomeness of it, and how can we help you. So we know for sure that capacity building is even beyond that thing called training. It's really getting into the nitty-gritty of the companies, the enterprises, looking at the concept, if it makes sense, whether local or external market, putting the proper structures in place, and as Dan says, formalizing the business. It means governance have to be in place. You have to know your numbers to know what stories are coming out. Worst, if you're thinking of exporting, you have to be really secure in moving forward. So we have been spending a lot of time with our client group preparing them for the market, because for us, global market is right here in Jamaica. So standards must be in place. Governance must be in place. And you must be thinking business. And I agree with Dan, we have to get over that hump of doing a little thing until some big job comes along, because it's not going to come along. So it means that we have to be innovative and we have to be on target for moving forward. We're going to be looking, as we said, as we had agreed, at all the innovative industries that have the possibilities for export. So food, niche markets, high quality, value-added products, non-food, services, certainly the technology-based industries and the creative industries in all aspects have to be part of that big umbrella. Our mandate is to help them. So even if they come
Right.
and they're not ready for Export Max,
Right.
it doesn't mean that they can't be in the passageway.
Okay.
So they need not hesitate. They
Right.
need to come forward.
Right.
If they're not in that lane,
Right.
it means you're going to prepare them for
Okay.
whatever is appropriate. So
Right.
there is no reason to sit and wonder if.
Okay.
You need to come forward and let us work together and see which lane you are really in.
Right.
And if you happen to move into this fast track, no, that's wonderful. If not, you're on the way to preparation.
Okay.
Because we must export. Dan keeps saying export. I think we have been in coma because we're waiting to die.
When we look at the program, or we look at life, we always like to say nobody born big. We all are a product of training, exposure, and experience. And you almost need all three in the right combination to be successful. So in the area of mentorship and advocacy, I think JMEA coming on board, which will have a portfolio of businesses that are already exporting, play a very important role. So I'd love to hear from you, Metri. Tell us in plain terms, how do you see the JMA supporting this effort and your decision to come on board?
Well, when I heard Diane and Valerie speak, I realized that what we have here is a perfect marriage.
Okay.
2 women and 1 man. No, I'm joking. No, seriously, what we have is a perfect marriage here.
Right.
Because what we have is the JMEA that has the base of membership. Our membership base is about 400 companies, most of which and many of which are small to medium-sized companies, which is the base that we need. Then we have Valerie, who is going to do the business development process, and then Jumper, that's going to deal with the export market.
Right.
What we bring to the table is a lot of hand-holding. We are about solving problems and solving issues. Right. So they're going to have issues. There's no question about it. Right. I think one of the ways we could say it is that we are a big brother to the companies, and we hold their hands and we walk with them through the process. Right. We just go, Valerie will take them to a particular stage, and then we will take them from there until we're ready to hand them off to Jampro to really go and do the export. But I wanted to say that the JMEA is fully committed to this program. That's why we have joined. We recognize how important it is. And as Diane said, it is probably one of the most important initiatives that any agency in Jamaica has put in place. The numbers speak for themselves, right. And we hope to be a part of this process going forward for a long time to come.
How does one apply for the program? Could you give some thoughts on that?
Thank you. I was hoping you'd ask that question. We have a kiosk at the back. We have several Jampro members of our team here. We have an expression of interest form, which you can get from our team at the back. Copies of the form are also available from the various agencies and on our website. www.dobusinessjamaica.com. You can download this expression of interest form and send it in, and we will be happy to contact you and start the journey with you, because this is a journey. It's a 3-year program. This is really about helping you through a process and on a journey to success. Tell your associates, people you know who have a product or who even have an idea. They can start talking to JBDC from the idea stage. So let's create a movement that can change export.
Thank you, Dan. So I'll throw it out. Any final thoughts?
This is an example, the collaboration, the example how we in Jamaica should work together. Right. Because no one institution or person has all the skills, all the information. Right. And until we start putting the ego behind the door and working together, we're not going to move. So I'm celebrating from JBDC the kind of collaboration that we have agreed to have between our agencies. I think it's a good move, and we know success is down the lane.
Metri, any final
in closing, I would ask everybody in this room, when you leave here today, call 5 persons that you know that are in business. Let us be oversubscribed.
Yes.
Let us have that problem. Let us reach back out to our sponsors and tell them that we need more from them because this is good for Jamaica.
Thank you, Metri.
We have some Export Max graduates in the audience, and I think it's important not only to hear from us, but to hear from people who are actually on the program. So dare I say that Rita Hilton is on his
Yeah, they're going to be on the program. Yeah, they're
okay. So Rita, Omar, I think you're all going to talk later on. So.
All right, a round of applause for the head of agencies. Thank you very much.
Cameo takes you behind the scenes of Jamaica's exploding creative industries to give you an insider's look at how creatives get the job done.
I'm really picky about how we treat our customers.
As creative people, we went a little bit over the top.
Each week, we interview innovators leading the charge in their industry.
The chaos of creativity meets the stricture of structure on Business Access TV's Cameo.
Hi, it's Novia MacDonald-White, Senior Associate Editor at the Jamaica Observer. And guess what? You are watching Business Access Television.
This is Solomon Sharp, CEO, Main Event Entertainment Group. You are watching Business Access TV, serious about business.
I'm going to invite some past Export Max participants to speak. Rita Hilton from Carita, Jamaica, and Omar Azan, CEO of Boss Furniture. So in the spirit of ladies first, I'm going to ask Rita Hilton to come and just give a couple of remarks about her experience with Export Max.
I think this is a great opportunity. Having benefited from Export Max 2, I'd like to highlight some of the things that made it so important for me and what the results have been like. It was important for me because it allowed me to step into the Caribbean export market. Carita has been in business for 34 years, and our whole business is aligned with exports. We were primarily involved in fresh produce exports, but recently we've been adding value to Jamaican products and trying to build up that component of bringing more value to Jamaica. Now, with Export Max 2, what did I benefit from? Going into the Caribbean market, which I didn't know at all, and I have to tell you that out of that, we have one concrete market which we opened in the Bahamas. And that partner has been so impressed with our output that they have come with a proposal to invest in our company and buy equity into our company. I learned that I wasn't really completely prepared to take advantage of all the opportunities. So if you're going into Export Max 3, come with an open mind. You think you know it, you don't know it. Learn, absorb, and execute. You need to have a partner on the ground in the territory that you're going to be working with that will teach you about that market and the market needs. It's not Jamaica, and it is not the globe. It is a very special type of market, and each market has its own needs. So keep an open mind, learn from the opportunities. What was wonderful is the amount of work that Jampro put in before we went into the markets. And that was the critical success of the Export Max 2. Into every territory that we went, there were buyers available, and it wasn't the underlings that came to the market opportunities. They were high level personnel that came to talk business and to do business. The other thing that I learned so much from is the capacity building. You think you know how to run a business? Well, you don't, because the way you start is not the way you grow and keep on growing. You see all this white hair? That comes from years and years of learning I started as a high school teacher, and our exports have reached close to $3 million US. And those are sales. That is not money to spend. That's money that you invest back in your business after you've paid the expenses. So don't think that you've achieved success and can drive a Mercedes-Benz. I still drive a pickup, okay?
I'll just say that for me, for my company, it's been an amazing experience. The team has been behind. There are times when I wasn't even up to doing some of the things, and they came and sat in my office and said, Omar, listen, we need you to get this thing done. And they would push me to do it. Today, I'll say historical. This is our first time in history that our company has receivables. Today, I checked it this morning, from 14 different countries owing me money at the end of this month to pay me, to pay my suppliers, where I think at the end of this month, I can probably pay all the suppliers I owe from just a foreign exchange earning. So that is a huge, huge, huge difference than where I was a few years ago. This is an excellent thing that JAMPRO is doing. I'll say it. You know me, I talk the truth every time I come up on the podium to speak. And, you know, we need to just get everybody behind this. Our Jamaican people, our staff in our factories, we need to push our exports to get this country going. Thank you.
I am inspired and excited this morning. And I want, on behalf of the entire team, JAMPRO, JMEA, JBDC, I just want to say thank you all for coming out and hearing this program and participating in this launch. So we're going to take you into the Caribbean, Europe, and the USA to sell your goods and services and to return with those all-important contracts and to deliver on the promise that you would have made to be a champion exporter. I expect this program will be a positive, life-changing experience for you and your businesses. So where do we go from here? The steps are very easy. We are inviting all business owners here to complete the registration expression of interest form. Following the expression of interest, you'll be required to complete a more in-depth application form. The deadline for submission will be January 30, 2019. Final selection of our participants will be done by March 15, 2019. And by April, MOUs with all the participants will be signed, and that's when the real work begins. But it will be exciting, it will be fun.
This has been the launch of Export Max 3, and I've been your host, Theodore Henry. Keep watching Business Access TV, serious about business.
Do you want to build your company's capacity or export your products or services to new global markets? Then you can be a part of Export Max 3, an enterprise development program for Jamaican companies. Sign up today. Applications close January 31, 2019. Expand your business for export growth. Visit dobusinessjamaica.com for details. Export Max 3. Grow beyond borders. It's brought to you by JAMPRO, JMEA, and JBDC.
I'm Candy and welcome to Chill Spot, Jamaica's ultimate leisure show. This season promises to reveal some of the hidden treasures of the lifestyle industry by taking you to the chill spots of some of Jamaica's most brilliant business minds, giving you a glimpse into how they choose to unwind and just pull a vibe. You won't want to miss what happens next. Stay tuned. Sundays at 4:30 p.m. It's all about Home Sweet Home. Get your half-hour dose of the business of real estate, from laws and concepts to reality, building, buying, or renting. Or what about trends in decor or renovations? Home Sweet Home will keep you up to date.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
The Primary Exit Profile, PEP, is a series of assessments that replace GSAT. PEP provides a profile of where the student is academically, their strengths, weaknesses, and readiness for grade 7. Welcome to Jamaica Magazine. I am Theodore Henry. Coming up in today's program, we'll be discussing PEP, which is right around the corner, so you don't want to miss a minute. Stay tuned.
What if they knew that you abused her? Her family?
Mr. Jones.
And your colleagues, how will they look at an abuser? When the law comes knocking, you'll have nowhere to run.
Mr. Brown, you're under arrest. Please get up, hands behind your head and interlock your fingers.
Turn your back on abusers. Report gender-based violence to the police. There's no excuse for abuse. Call the Bureau of Gender Affairs at 876-754-8577.
This week on Get the Facts, we're joined by Assistant Chief Education Officer for the Student Assessment Unit at the Ministry of Education, Mrs. Terry-Ann Thomas-Gale, as she discusses all we need to know about the upcoming Primary Exit Profile, PEP.
Welcome to Get the Facts, a program that provides you with information on government's policies and initiatives. I'm your host, Anthros Campbell. The Primary Exit Profile, or PEP exams, are coming up soon, and as some of our nation's children prepare themselves, we want to provide them with some useful information, as well as for their parents. Joining us is Terry-Ann Thomas-Gale, Deputy Chief Education Officer for Students Assessment Unit at the Ministry of Education. Mrs. Gale, welcome to the program. So good to have you.
Thanks for having me, Ms. Gamble. It's a pleasure being here.
Great. How many students are registered for the PEP exams this year?
Okay, so for this year, we have a total of 39,561 students registered to sit the exam at the grade 6 level.
How does that compare with last year?
Last year, we had around about the same amount sitting the exams.
Okay. So PEP is in its second year.
Yes.
Give us an overview of what has happened since the start of the exam.
Okay, last year we had our first sitting of the Primary Exit Profile for grades 4, 5, and 6. Our grade 6 students matriculated to grade 7 at the secondary level. Since then, we have continued with the piloting of our items. We maintain our testing processes. So we had item writing, piloting continues right throughout the year. We would have done our cognitive labs and our field studies on the items to ensure that they are valid and reliable going on to the test forms that will be administered throughout the year 2020.
Yes.
So this year, our grade 6 students will start the process come February 25th. The students will sit the primary exit profile for the ability test.
Okay, all right, before we go to that, tell us, there were some issues last year. How have you worked on improving those for this year?
The issues we had last year, seeing it was the first year being rolled out, we had issues such as the reporting mechanism. Persons were concerned about the use of the scale scores as against the percentage scores. What we did, we had workshops with our principals, especially those at the secondary level. So we went to all regions except for one region, which is still yet to be done. We would have walked our high school principals as to how it is that the reports should be interpreted, the intent of the assessment, and how it is that they can continue the development and the implementation of the National Standards Curriculum at grades 7. There was also the issues.
Grade 7?
Grade 7. So we met with the high school principals.
Yes.
Our primary school principals were part of the focus group that we did. We had selected school representatives such as at the primary level. We had the principals, the teachers, and the parents who formed part of our focus groups to look at the report and to give guidance as to what is needed, what are their needs on the students' report. We would have piloted those reports throughout the reporting mechanism last year, and we have received feedbacks and we have implemented the feedbacks that we would have received. For the grade 6 reporting, persons were concerned about the different scores. Now on the report we have scores such as the individual subject scores. We have the composite score. Now, this is a score that is used for placement, and this score is developed based on the weighting that is given. In the implementation of PEP and the rollout, we would have advised the system that the performance task measured valued 20%, and that was over a 3-year period. So at grades 4, when the students sit their performance task, it would value 5%. At grade 5, it would value 7%, and at grade 6, it would value 8%. And the ability test values 30%. And the curriculum-based test would value the remaining 50%. So of the individual subject scores for these subjects, only 50% in the case of the curriculum-based test, that would go towards the final, this placement. And 30% of what they would have gotten on the ability test added to that, and 20% of the performance task. And as well, there was the percentile, the ability test, because of the nature of the assessment, it is not reported using scaled score. It is reported using the percentile rank. And so this disparity was with the different scores.
Children can start earning marks from grade 4?
From grade 4. And that's one of the plus for PEP.
Yes.
Unlike GSAT, where it was a one-shot sitting down doing this exam at grade 6, for PEP, you actually start earning points as early as grade 4.
Okay, so talk to us about the grades that you need to get to your first choice school.
Because of the placement mechanism that is used, there is no set grade for a particular school.
Is that really true?
It is really true. The placement is done based on how the students perform. So after all the scores would have been calculated, you are ranked using this placement score. And based on your rank, that's how you are placed into the high school. So for example, if it were that all the students who scored high based on their composite score selected a particular high school, even if the average going in there would be a scale score of 280, that would be where the highest ranked student go. So the ministry doesn't have like a score for a particular high school. It all depends on the students who sit the exam and the choices they make. So for example, both of us sit the exam.
Yes.
After all our scores are calculated, you're ranked number 1, the computer system will place you first. And if I'm number 2, I'm given my first choice if it is that the schools are not
if I'm
filled.
ranked number 1, I'll get my first choice school, the school I...
Automatically, because you're the first person being placed.
Yes, and if I do extremely well, so you don't rank the schools?
No, the schools are not ranked. The students are ranked based on their performance and based on the weighting that is allotted to the different companies.
You say you have been talking to the principals and so on, but did you get down to having sessions with teachers?
The preparation for PEP is not much different from the preparation for GSAT in that the teachers only need to implement the national standards curriculum. We would have gone and trained all grades level on how to assess the national standards curriculum. We would have improved in the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information. We would have improved our supervisory module where we have core curriculum officers as well as the territorial officers out there in the schools giving guidance. Along with that, we have our over 300 math coaches, literacy coordinator, HFLE. All our officers are equipped to guide the system as how it is that the national standards curriculum should be implemented.
Okay. All right, we take a break now. We come back with more discussion on the primary exit profile examination, PEP. Stay with us.
Let's get a little breeze on this land. All right. Now let's get some bounce in the rhythm. All right. Let's get some fire on our hearts. Now that is what we call all right. Run, come, get some Jamaica.
Welcome back to Get the Facts. We continue our discussion with Terry and Thomas Gale, Deputy Chief Education Officer for Students Assessment Unit at the Ministry of Education. In our first segment, you were talking a lot about the composite score. Tell us what is that?
I want to point out that this composite score was always used for GSAT. The difference with PEP is that we communicated this time around.
Yes.
For GSAT, that was what was done behind the scenes to rank the students and place them into the schools based on their selections. The students are given 7 choices, 5 from anywhere on the island, and there are 6th and 7th choice from the school in close proximity to their sending school, the primary level institutions. After we would have ranked the students, first there are 42,000 students who would have sat the exam based on the scores that they would have gotten on the different components, the different papers. Their scores based on the weighting that is given, the 20% for the performance task, the 30% for the ability, and the 50% for the curriculum-based test. All that they are added, and the students are, there are some mathematical principles put in place, the standard deviation, and they are given a ranked number. And they are ranked, based on that number, they are ranked in order. That order now, it is what we use to place them. So the composite score is nothing new. The newness of it is that it is actually known. It was always behind the scene. That's the only way we could use to rank the students and to place them.
Students can get help from the PEP app. Yes, tell us a little about that.
Okay, so we have the PEP app as well as we have a PEP website.
Yes.
On the PEP website, we would have, for this year, we would have published grade 6 publication. Within the grade 6 publication, there are items for the different components. So we have ability sample items. We have the curriculum-based sample items, so all 4 subject areas, and we have the performance task. All these sample items were from last year's paper. It is the plan of the ministry every year to release some of the items that were from the previous year's sitting. So that publication is available on the website. Parents can go on and have the children practice using those. Our teachers would have become more, for me, more comfortable, let me say comfortable, using the variety of item types. And our teachers, they're the ones who write the items for us.
Oh, okay.
They have really blossomed. The items that are now being written and used within our classroom, they have shown that the teachers are on stream. They are now using the items that we would have posited.
Okay, how do we get to the PEP app?
The PEP, the
should know this by
URL, it
now,
would be
but-
pep.moey.gov.jm. So once you type that in, the PEP website comes up and you can navigate because it's really user-friendly.
Yes. Let's go to the PEP exams now.
Right.
You were saying the first one is in February. Tell us about
So come February 25th, our grade 6 students will sit the ability test. I want to remind our viewers that the ability test looks at reasoning verbally and quantitatively. So that exam is not aligned to the National Standards Curriculum. The students need at least a grade 4 level exposure to the school system to acquire those items. And on March 19th, that's Thursday, March 19th, we'll have the performance task in language arts, and on the 20th, we will have the performance task in mathematics.
How long are these papers?
The ability test is 1 hour and 15 minutes. The performance, the task, they're 2 hours long, but there's a break in between.
And we can be assured that our students are ready and our teachers are ready.
Based on the feedback from the ground, we would have used the data from last year's administration of the PEP, and that was what was used by our territorial officers and the core curriculum unit. We would have gone into those schools that we saw based on the results where they had issues implementing, issues on the test, and we would have assisted in areas of weaknesses. The good thing about PEP, we're not just getting a score about the students, we're getting an entire profile. So from the results, you're able to see the exact category of weaknesses, whether or not the students have problem with problem solving, whether they're unable to communicate in the language arts and the mathematics across the different subject areas. And so the targeted approach is much better.
Are there measures in place for students with special needs?
We do have, at the Ministry of Education, we have a special education unit, and what we would have done for those students with special needs, we would have also given them special accommodations. Special accommodation is given after psychoeducational assessment is submitted for the students. And we have special accommodations such as writers, prompters, extra time. I want to point out also that even for placement of our students with special needs, these are specially placed. So our special education officers, they would know the students within the schools who are wheelchair bound, who have certain learning challenges, and so these children would be specially placed.
How can persons get in touch with you, the ministry, if they have needs that are not being met?
On the PEP website, there are different phone numbers for the different areas. At the Student Assessment Unit, we can be contacted at 876-922-5680. My cell number is available, rather a WhatsApp message. It's 876-455-3003.
Okay, and as we wrap, talk to our parents and our students as they get ready. They tend to get nervous, right? What would you say to our parents and students at this time?
Before I get there, I remember last year the students reported that it is much easier than everybody led them to believe. And I want to assure our parents that our students are ready. The students are ready for PEP. And I want you to just encourage your child, ensure that the child gets the rest before the exam. We want you to have conversation, because the more the child talks about what is being learned, the better it is for them to represent it on paper. Encourage your children to read the questions carefully, because the answers are there. Do not rush. There is adequate time to complete all the assessment. They don't need to rush to finish and to sit there. I want to also encourage us to be supportive. The teachers within our schools, they're aware of what is required for your students, and they are adequate enough to guide you in getting them ready for PEP.
Thank you so very much. This has been Get the Facts. Our guest was Terry-Ann Thomas Gale, Deputy Chief Education Officer for Students Assessment Unit at the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information. We wish our PEP students well and urge the parents to be calm. Until next time, when Get the Facts brings you another informative discussion, I'm Enthros Campbell. Do take good care.
As you've just heard, the primary exit profile PEP examination is right around the corner. This next feature will highlight a free app, I said free, that parents and students can utilize when preparing for the exam.
What I liked about the app is that it helped students to understand basics in different subject areas.
I found it wonderful because it helped me to, in my language arts, it helped me to pass my exam.
PEP Tutor is a free application that works on all Android devices by default for students preparing for the primary exit profile exam to practice with. They can talk to the device, whatever device it is, if it's a smartphone, tablet, a Google Home device, or a smart TV, once it's Android. And it asks them questions, and they can respond by either typing or talking to the phone.
Talk to PEP Tutor. Sure, let's get PEP Tutor.
The idea came out of a discussion that was on Twitter where persons were complaining about the exam, how difficult it is and how difficult it is to find questions to practice. So, being in IT and always trying to use technology to solve problems, I decided to use technology to try to help them. Currently we have science, mathematics and language arts, and we're working on adding social studies and the ability questions. Before now, I got questions from the practice exams that the students were using to prepare for the PEP exam. And now I have a teacher from my primary school, which is Wakefield Primary School. She's assisting me to put the questions together because I'm not a teacher, I don't know how to test students. So she's preparing the questions and I'm just adding them to it. The app works by simply asking the students questions, and it asks multiple choice questions and short answer questions. So if a parent can sit and go through the questions with the student, if the answer that is provided by the student is incorrect, the app will tell the student that the answer is incorrect and tell them which one is correct or which answer is the correct answer. It doesn't show you how to work out the questions. So if it's a maths question and it says 2 + 3 is 5, it won't show you how to add 2 and 3, but it tells you that the answer is 5 and whatever answer you gave is incorrect. Just like any other exam, is to keep the students practicing constantly. You don't want to wait until the last minute, and put them under additional stress and pressure. So from September, or even before, during whatever holidays, to have the students, go through the different subject areas, sit with them on the weekends, and help them to get prepared. The PEP app will definitely assist students right across the board, whether they're rich, poor, or whether they're in the country or in town, getting better results in the PEP exams. I believe the PEP Tutor app will assist in us achieving our Vision 2030 goal by making access to education a lot easier for students, whether in Kingston or whether in urban or rural areas. And I think, by utilizing technology, will make learning more fun for students, and they will eventually do better.
If you've ever wondered what your property taxes are used for, wonder no more. Your property taxes provide revenue for the provision of public and community amenities throughout Jamaica, which are delivered by local government officials. When you pay your property taxes, you aid with the maintenance and expansion of our street lighting to ensure you are not walking in the dark at nights, the collection and disposal of solid waste to prevent the pileup of garbage in communities, the improvement of our community infrastructure, and repairs to fire stations and service vehicles, along with rehabilitation of our roads. Pay your property taxes online, in line, or via mobile tax units and avoid being sought by the government. For more information, visit the Tax Administration website at www.jamaicatax.gov.jm or call 876-902-9463.
With examinations like PEP, CXC, and CAPE coming up, here are a few tips that will help to improve your study mindset. The first one, think positively when you study and remind yourself of your skills and abilities. Number two, avoid catastrophic thinking. So instead of thinking, I'll never have enough time to study for this exam, look at it like, I may be a little late to study as much as I like, but since I'm doing it now, I'll get the most out of it. Number three, avoid absolute thinking. Instead of beating yourself up when you don't do well, change your mindset and start saying, I didn't do so well that time. What can I do to improve? Number four, avoid comparing yourself with others, because usually you just end up feeling bad about yourself. Your skills and abilities are unique to you and you alone. Follow these 4 simple steps when studying and enhance your educational careers, as we aim to make Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business.
A common practice while socializing, celebrating, or just relaxing is the consumption of alcohol. To some, this is second nature. All too common also are the negative effects that drinking has on the human body. While occasional drinking is not necessarily a problem, it's the excessive intake that can have severe consequences. The effects of too much alcohol consumption include blurred vision, breathing problems, impaired judgment, concentration problems, slurred speech, and of course, addiction resulting from long-term use. Now, these effects may vary based on a variety of factors, such as how much you drink, how often you drink, your age, health status, and family history. Alcohol use does not have to be reckless. Here are some tips to practice responsible drinking.
Plan ahead. If you plan on drinking at an event, get a designated driver.
Shoulder.
Yeah.
Set your own limit. No much is too much.
Know your family history. If you come from a family with a history of alcohol dependence, you might want to limit your drinking.
Remember, responsible drinking is a very simple thing.
Thanks for watching another edition of Jamaica Magazine. Join us again tomorrow when we'll do this all over again. Send your feedback on today's show to Jamaica Magazine at jis.gov.jm. Also, follow us on our social media pages and download our app on your Apple and Android devices. And you can also visit our website at jis.gov.jm for more information. On behalf of the entire production crew, I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
Hey guys! guys, I'm Candy and welcome to Chill Spot, Jamaica's ultimate leisure show. This season promises to reveal some of the hidden treasures of the lifestyle industry by taking you to the chill spots of some of Jamaica's most brilliant business minds, giving you a glimpse into how they choose to unwind and just hold a vibe. You won't want to miss what happens next. Stay tuned.
Creating change, building a future, caring hands, giving back, touching hearts, and shaping lives. Impacting our world for the better.
Welcome to another episode of Chill Spot, and on today's episode we head to the South Coast, Sandals South Coast to be exact, where we'll be checking out their recently introduced over-the-water bungalows with none other than Marsha Lumley, Head of Marketing and Corporate Communications at Tradewind Citrus. This promises to be a truly memorable episode, so don't go anywhere. Much more Chill Spot after this. How are you?
Good to see
Good to see you too. This nicey.
Say that again.
Girl.
Look at it.
This is so beautiful.
Absolutely amazing.
I'm loving it already. So Marsha, tell me about how you chose Sandals South Coast as your chill spot.
Oh my God, that's easy. You know that the South Coast, of course, is untapped tourist area.
Of course.
Not a lot of people using it, not a lot of tourists using it, and I thought, if I want to just chill, relax, get away, where else to go than Sandals South Coast? There was nowhere else. It's as secluded as I choose.
Right.
Nobody knows where I am. And then the features to just relax and enjoy.
Right.
I'm going to take you through that throughout the day, just so you can eat your heart out and be a little bit jealous. But you have an opportunity to come at any time you choose. Right. So, you know, just some of the features that I really love. I love the fact that as far as I can look, it's just white sand beaches. Yeah. Girlfriend,
it's beach for days out here.
Beach for days. So I'm loving it, I'm enjoying it, I'm chilling. Don't mind the dress, this is not what I keep on all day. I'm definitely gonna change off into being able to just enjoy the water because this is Jamaica and it's some of what we love. I mean, the property is so immaculate. And I think we talk about it all the time. We talk about the fact that Jamaicans are so warm, but let me tell you about the staff here.
Yes.
From the minute you drive through the front gate, off the main road in White House, from the security straight down, and I think they knew I was coming. They did, and they know how fussy I am, so they gave me the most amazing butlers.
Yes.
So Jeremy and Alarion, trust me,
yes.
If I open my mouth, I want something. Before I could even say it, I have it.
Yeah.
So that's absolutely amazing. And I think it's a great vacation in Jamaica. Often we don't do that.
Right.
We don't vacation where we live.
No, we don't.
So I decided that to start my vacation, it's going to be exactly where I live. And you know my history. You know my history on drinking, right? And you know, responsibly, of course, responsibly. You know, when I came here, and I researched before I came, and I found out that they have this over-the-water latitude bar. So talk about fantastic cocktails.
Oh, nice.
Yes, girl. So that's just one of the things that I love as well.
So we're going to see that today, though, right?
Of course, we're going to take you over there. We have to have a drink.
No, for
we
sure.
absolutely have to have a drink and enjoy. But
There's one thing Chill Spot never fails to do, make me have a drink.
absolutely, because
We
it's
have to.
chilling.
It's a staple.
And we chill with drinks. So here at Sandal South Coast, the drinks are amazing. The over-the-water bar is amazing. And I've already decided where I am going to get married.
Oh, yeah. Is it on this property?
It's on this property. I found this
nice.
spot. I'm going to take you there. It's an over-the-water chapel. So, husband out there to be.
Oh, you don't have that yet? Oh,
work in
okay,
progress.
never mind.
It's a work in progress. You know, it's a work in progress. So that's where it's going to be. Sandals, I'm coming back for the use of the chapel. When I give you my date, nobody else can have it. So
I'm excited.
that's already secured. So it's just so many things. The food is divine. And everybody know I'm a foodie. Foodie is me. So there's so many things. I'm loving it. And I'm just enjoying taking that time away. You know, when you really work hard,
for sure.
it's time away. And as you
We
mature,
know that about you. If it's one thing we know about
thank you so much. As you mature, you want quiet time. So those are just some of the reasons I chose, and there are others that you'll find out later when I take you to my over-the-water bungalow.
Are you staying in an over-the-water bungalow?
Yes, I am. I am.
I am excited.
I'm going to introduce you to
see
it. I'm
that.
going to introduce you to it. Absolutely amazing. You know, me full of excitement, right? I guess it's the marketer in me. I walk in and I start scream. I know I should have acted sophisticated, but the sophisticated went straight out the door. When I walk in and it's really over the water and I'm looking at the floor and I'm looking in the water.
So you told work
No.
you were off the island, right? Because
Oh,
I mean, you truly
wow.
are off the island in an over
I
the
mean,
water.
as secluded as you choose. So yes, it's vacation time, so it's okay. I'm away. I'm not accessible. I should be accessible.
No, not when you're over the water.
Always, 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 yes.
Well, Marsha, I'm excited to get the tour started. So shall we?
Let's go.
Coming up.
I remember when Mr. McConnell called me, that's my current boss, when he called me and I had a conversation with him, I absolutely fell in love with his vision. I fell in love with his vision for his brands, and in particular True Juice, and the fact that True Juice will be this global brand, and how his ideas of how we take the brand globally. And for me, that was so exciting. I felt it was a challenge I wanted to take on, and I decided that True Juice, Tradewind Citrus, was the place for me to take that next step in my career and make a difference in marketing.
Hi, it's Novia MacDonald-White, Senior Associate Editor at the Jamaica Observer. And guess what? You are watching Business Access Television.
Now, Marsha, I want you to tell me about your role at Tradewind Citrus. Of course, you're head of marketing and corporate communications. What does that mean? What do you do on a day-to-day basis?
My job as head of marketing and corporate communications at Tradewind Citrus Limited is really to ensure that we are driving consumer demand. At the end of the day, it's dependent on the consumers for brand growth, and ultimately we want to drive profitability. So ensuring that our brands are selling or doing well on the market is one of my primary roles. Additionally, it's important to drive company goodwill. you know, just the perception of the company name and that we're creating value as we go along. So when we do things like a doctor clinic, for example, in Linstead, the health center, that is us building goodwill for the company, and that is also very exciting. It's important at the end of the day to make sure that consumer perception and image is building loyalty for the brands and essentially the company overall.
So give us a little synopsis of how you got into marketing.
Oh, you said synopsis, right? So I need to keep this short. But it's quite interesting. When I was finishing my final year at UWI, I realized I needed a job. Right. And so I went to UWI Career and Placement. Actually, it does work.
Right.
And at the time, I remember, it's my best friend's mom, Merit Henry, who was the head of Career and Placement. And I remember there were 15 of us going for one job. At that time, it was a milk marketing project that was happening. And of the 15 of us, they chose 2 of us, and one of that person was me. So that was my first exposure to marketing. It was when milk was exciting in Jamaica, and they were talking about farmers wanting to make sure that we're actually getting milk from the cows. And the farmers in Jamaica were really, my job was to market real milk, leveraging the farmers across Jamaica. And I did that for about 2 years. Did a little another job here and there, and then I heard about Red Stripe's graduate internship program, and I applied for that. I think at the time it was about 300 people.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Went to an assessment center for about 3 days. I remember the assessment center was at a hotel, and after 3 days, they chose 10 people, and I was one of 10. And the rest is history, just in terms of my career in Red Stripe and actually doing various roles, from event marketing to assistant brand manager to being brand manager for innovation and spirits, and just moving up the ranks in sales and marketing. And I think over the years, I just recognized that marketing was my passion. I did sales, 8 years in sales, actually 8 years in marketing, and then both of them are very integrated actually. You know, they are very integrated. Sales is linked to marketing and marketing to sales. Right. But I found that what I loved best is when I'm influencing consumers, when I'm putting out something on the market that I feel is making a difference in people's life, whether it's just for entertainment purposes or a lifestyle. I get really excited. I get excited to see growth. I get excited to see consumer response. And I said, you know something, marketing is my passion. And that's where, yes. And so that's where I want to focus. Despite having done sales and even having been the head of sales at Red Stripe for a year as the acting head of commercial, but I said to myself, my next job has to be in marketing, because that is where I get very excited, I get really passionate, and I'm at my best. I'm happiest as a marketer.
And that led you to True Juice, where you are now.
Yes, that led me to True Juice, and oh my God, I have so many stories about my career, but that led me to True Juice. But essentially, after leaving Red Stripe, doing, again, as I said, 15 amazing years and various jobs, I remember when Mr. McConnell called me, that's my current boss, when he called me and I had a conversation with him, I absolutely fell in love with his vision. I fell in love with his vision for his brands, and in particular True Juice, and the fact that True Juice will be this global brand, and how his ideas of how we take the brand globally. And for me, that was so exciting. I felt it was a challenge I wanted to take on, and I decided that True Juice, Tradewind Citrus, was the place for me to take that next step in my career and make a difference in marketing.
Now, Marsha, what would you say is your greatest accomplishment to date, if you can identify only one?
From just professionally and achievement, I would say I was awarded, I call it an award, because I've said to people, you know, if the definition of luck is opportunity meets hard work, then I've been lucky. And I've been so lucky because in my career, I remember overseas, a part of our company overseas, then Red Stripe was owned by Diageo. I just got a call and they said to me, you know something, Marsha, we want to give you this opportunity to be marketing manager for Central America and the Caribbean. And at that time, that was 29 countries. And to me, all they saw was me having been working hard over the years. I didn't plan it. I wasn't even looking for it. I didn't know that role existed before. So to me, it was just working in the field, doing my job from day to day, and just getting that call to say, this is what we want you to do next. That was very exciting. I felt that during my time in the role, I made a difference. I was able to build strategies for 29 countries. I was able to meet with leaders across the world in terms of helping them build plan for their businesses, drive their business. So to me, that was really exciting. And then coming back to Jamaica, I really lived in Jamaica, but I was only in Jamaica on weekends.
Oh, nice.
For one whole year. Then it was nice. I don't know that I could do that again. You know what I mean? Just living in Jamaica on weekends. And I launched Captain Morgan Rum in US Virgin Islands. So I was in US Virgin Islands for about 3 weeks on and off, and just working cross-functional with the team there to launch Captain Morgan Rum. So that was very exciting, and I felt, wow. The little girl from Clarendon, from Summerfield, some people call it Summerfield Bush, did that. And who knew that would ever happen to me?
Well, congratulations.
So thank you so much. So that was, that's an experience I will always remember. So that was pretty nice. But I think one that I'm really proud of is having gone to Red Stripe as a graduate intern, and then making it to the Red Stripe executive.
Actually graduating too.
Yes.
Yes.
So as an intern and years later, I'm on the executive. I'm a part of that team of a very few who helps to drive the decisions of the business. That in itself, I was like, wow. Again, the little girl from Clarendon that I didn't know, I didn't dream about it. I just kept doing work. I just kept doing what I was passionate about. And for me, you just work hard and you put everything you have into it, and you invest your time into it, and the reward will come.
Marsha, talk to us about some of the more recent developments with Tradewind Citrus. What's on the forefront for you guys now?
Oh, talk about excitement. You know, I think that for all the jobs I've had and you know, the roles I've had leading up, I would say I've never been in a role where we have launched so many innovation in such a short time. And to date, we've launched our vegetable juice category, which is exciting, and we have more to come in that category. We launched green vegetable juice, and we also launched beetroot juice. Yes, we did. That's in my first month, we launched green juice, green vegetable juice. We've also launched fresh in Tetra Pak. In new flavors. So we launched cranberry lychee, we launched sorrel, we launched grape, and those are new flavors in fresh brand. And we also launched orange juice that has always been in fresh before. And that's already just flying off the shelf. We are launching some more new flavors in True Juice Tetra Pak, and we're also looking at putting out fresh in another size in terms of Tetra Pak. So busy, exciting, but it feels great. It feels great. It's always this exciting feeling and the adrenaline and thinking about, how am I going to do this differently? How am I going to make an impact? How am I going to do something that nobody else has done yet? So it's been awesome.
Marsha, what would you say is the secret to your company's continued success?
To date, I think the thing we have been excellent at is innovation. I've never seen that before. I've never experienced innovation so fast and furious. And it's innovations that do pretty well in the market. So for me, I would say being very open to innovating, trying new things, and investing against new things been really a key success factor. And thinking about what is that consumer need out there? What does the consumer want? I want to feel that need. I want to be the brand. I want to be the company that finds and fulfills that need, that opportunity, capitalize on that opportunity. I would say that's been a driving force behind the success of the business. Because when you look on any shelf in the supermarket, you see True Juice. Yeah.
No other brand resonates like that one.
We have nearly 192 SKUs, stock keeping units on shelf in the store. And I think doing that and always innovating and keeping your brand fresh and exciting is something that really will drive growth and is a key success factor. But you can't do that unless you have the right people in the right roles with the right capabilities. And I think the business is doing a good job of recruiting and keeping good people who are able to deliver and have the business success at heart. That's very important. Your people are your primary resource. That's how we can innovate, because you have people who are good at what they do. So we can innovate and then we can market it and consumers will love it and we will grow. So I'd say the people and just being open to innovating and investing against innovation is a key success factor.
Do you have any tips for others up and coming in the corporate world, even women?
You know something, I think that for me, in truth, again, I say I've been lucky, opportunity meets hard work. So I've not experienced a lot of what women may talk about in the workplace as not getting equal opportunity to grow. I've been able to be in organizations where I've been given the opportunity to grow. And I would say to any woman out there, do not have that in your mind, do not keep that in your mind and have it become a barrier for you. The fact is, as long as you work hard, gain experience, excel at what you do, the people within your business will see that, will see what you're investing in terms of time and energy and focus, and that will be rewarded. For me, that's been my experience, and I don't think I was special in any way. Maybe God did tap my shoulder when I was born and say, you know, you are special and you are going to be special. But I feel like it's not a cliche to say education is the key to success. It has been the key to my success. I've been given opportunity in organizations, I worked for them, and at the same time, I was continuously ensuring that I was improving my education. So when an opportunity came along the way, I was right for it because I was educated, I had the experience, and I was known to work hard, and I was known to be a transformational leader. So I was then able to achieve and grow as I've grown today. So I would say to anybody, you know, there are no barriers. There are really no barriers to your achievement. It boils down to ultimately you, what you project, what you do, what you exude, and then you're going to be rewarded for that.
Okay. Well, let's check out the beach and then we'll head to lunch after. Is that right? Do I have that order right?
That sounds like fun.
Let's go. Coming up.
I have that urge to have another child, so I'm excited about that possibility and that opportunity if God wills it. So I'm looking forward to a husband and another child. And in the meantime, I'm just gonna get a dog.
My name is Herbert Chung, Executive Chairman, Co-Founder, Honeybun 1982 Limited. You're watching Business Access TV, serious about business.
Marsha, what a day we've had, from your beautiful over-the-water bungalow to the beach, to the chapel, the tour, this property.
Yes.
Everything has been so amazing.
It is an amazing stay.
It is.
And I'm thinking about it and I'm like, all right, Marsha, if you had to choose as one spot, I mean, I love all the spots, but if I had to choose one spot, the room is absolutely divine.
so
that
too.
over-the-water bungalow where
so
I can look in my floor and I see the sea. Oh gosh,
awesome.
it's lovely. I love it. So I'm having an amazing time.
I agree with you. This property is just breathtaking.
Yes, I'm glad I made the choice.
Absolutely.
It's a good choice.
So we want to talk a little bit about your personal side.
Yes,
Tell me about
yes,
your
yes.
family firstly.
Well, my family, I have a son, a beautiful boy. I mean, he likes to say he's handsome, and I agree with him. He's 9 years old. And I have quite a few siblings, actually, on my father's side, but I had 2 brothers and myself. That's how I grew up. But unfortunately, and it's you know, hard to say, but my little brother died a few years ago. He was 22, yes. So now it's just my older brother and myself as siblings with my mom.
Right.
So I grew up in the cool hills of Clarendon. Yes, I'm a country girl, born and bred. So that's different. I think that's different from coming into Kingston and seeing the Kingstonian life. I'm a country girl who used to run up and down barefoot. Yes, so I'm used to that. And just playing around with my brother, doing all kind of crazy stuff. So that was fun and exciting. I went to the awesome CC, the one and only CC. Yes, it's the one and only CC.
Is that Clarendon College?
Absolutely. Okay. There's no other, is there? There's no other. So I went to Clarendon College. I did sixth form as well. And then after Clarendon College, actually, I'm now proud to say it, but at that time I could not afford university. So I actually had to work before I went to university, and I taught at Edwin Allen High School for 1 year. Yes, so I'm a teacher at heart. At some stage in my life, I think I'm going to get back there.
Back into
I absolutely love it.
A lot of teachers have that at some point. They always want to go back. That's
there's nothing like teaching children and then actually when they get exams and they pass it and they do well and you realize you actually had a hand in that. You helped them to achieve that. So I love that. I did that. And then I went to University of the West Indies, Mona campus.
The prestigious.
Yes, of course, of course. I'm an esteemed Taylorite. So that was in itself a really great experience, I think, living on campus as somebody from rural Jamaica and not just having that educational experience in terms of that tertiary level education that included this new life and living on your own and going out on your own. That was pretty interesting, and I think it has helped me and molded me into the woman I am today. So I would have given up that for nothing. I'd have changed that for nothing. And after UE, I went straight to work, but then a few years later, now I look back, it's like I did my master's 12 years ago. Wow. Can you imagine that? 12 years ago, I did my master's with University of New Orleans.
So tell me about your immediate family now.
Oh, my immediate family, I have this awesome boy. His name is Christian Beckham Newman.
Oh, nice.
Yes, and he's 9 years old. And I just have to tell you, so years ago I decided when I had a child, I prayed for a son, by the way, literally. When I was pregnant, I prayed and I asked God for a son. I got my son and I decided that he needed to be a footballer.
Okay.
So I remember I wanted to call him Romario, but a friend of mine had a cousin who was Romario, so I couldn't get that.
Right.
And I said, okay, one of the popular names in football is Christian. Okay. And then I couldn't figure out the middle name, and a friend of mine said, why not Beckham? And I said, yes. So he's Christian Beckham Newman, and he got his first football at 2 years old.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. I used to pay a coach to come to my house at 2 to teach him to play football.
Wow.
1 hour on a Sunday.
Wow.
I got this thing planned out. And in school now, he plays football, and every Saturday he goes to football. Then he came to me and he decided he wanted to be a goalkeeper. And believe me, I was instantly depressed. No, I was, literally. Because
he's still a footballer?
Yes, but let me tell you something. Listen, I thought about it and I was like, Christian, why do you want to be a goalkeeper? Coach asked, who is interested in being the goalkeeper? And my son.
Me?
Me, sir. And I said, no, you don't. No, Christian. He said, yes, mommy, me. And I said, Christian, why? For me, the goalkeeper is under the most pressure.
Right.
That's the only position that is just him. It's just him and that goal.
Yeah.
And any ball past him and go into that goal to score, he's the one under the pressure. So I felt, why would you want to take up that with the pressure? Plus, as a mom now, and a soccer mom, I realized that it's the most expensive position on the field. So he has to get gloves.
Gears though.
Right, so he has to get the gear that everybody else wears on field.
Right.
And then additionally, I have to get him gloves. I have to get him a football, a goalkeeper shirt that has the
padding,
protection.
yeah.
I have to get him a short that has protection. And I'm like, Christian, why? Why me? But then clearly I asked for it. So that's in itself a whole life and enjoyment, and just enjoying my son every weekend and doing the football soccer mom thing, you know? So that's
nice.
fun. But I think probably with my son, you know, one of the big struggle and the balance that I have to try to create is knowing that, you know, I'm a single mom right now, and doing a job that's not a 9 to 5. For a marketer, it's never 9 to 5. 9 to 5 is not possible.
Course, right.
So it's creating that balance and knowing I need to go home, I need to get the homework done, I need to make sure that he's ready for school the next day. And even when you have a helper who helps and get it done, you still have, as a mom, have to help with the homework.
Of course.
And then also throwing in the fun. Because my son don't play, you know. My son will be like, Mommy, you haven't spent any time with me in a long time. No,
Call you out.
Oh, he calls me out. And then I have to, you know, take a step back and say, all right, how are we going to put in that time? Which movie are we going to see, you know? So I think that just, I'm forced to create that balance. And that in itself is also good for me in terms of creating that work-life, family-life balance. So it's me and my son, it's me and Christian.
So tell us, what would you say is next for you, both personally and professionally?
I want to round out that nuclear family.
Right.
You know what I
yes,
mean?
you've hinted at that a few times today.
I do. Next, I would love at some point to, you know, get married.
Right.
And I've always thought about it, I think, ever since my little brother died. It's unfortunate, but I originally was okay with having one child. And having seen what my mom went through when my brother died, and I think if she didn't have me, I don't know that she would have survived. And I just have this urge, I want to have another child. And it's not that I think that I'm going to lose mine, God forbid, but I just feel like I have that urge to have another child. So I'm excited about that possibility and that opportunity if God wills it. So I'm looking forward to a husband and another child. And in the meantime, I'm just going to get a dog.
So that's the personal side. Professionally, what are your goals now?
Professionally,
You've accomplished so much already.
Oh my God, I've been blessed. I've been blessed professionally. I've had 15 of the most unmatched years at Red Stripe. I'm grateful for them. And I think they have made me into the professional I am today. And I'm blessed for that. But this new, I didn't know I could get so excited again. And this new journey with Tradewind Citrus Limited, I tell you, I am excited.
Energized.
I am energized. I'm looking forward to what I can feel as great things. The business have great brands. I mean, True Juice, Fresh, Squeeze, Calico Jack. I'm excited at the vision of the company, and just spending some time there to achieve the greatness. The brands are great, but I feel like I can help to contribute to something much bigger and achieve much bigger. So for now, it's True Juice, it's Fresh, it's Calico Jack, it's Squeeze, and I'm excited about that. I can't see beyond that yet.
Thank you so much for a fabulous day here at Sandals and for showing us around the property, your chill spot, of course. I had an awesome day. We should cheers to that.
Cheers, and thank you for coming through.
No problem. That's it for another exciting episode of Chill Spot. Remember, you can check out previous episodes on BATVJA.com. Until next time, I'm Candy. Bye.
Marsha, thinking about that possibility.
Marsha has answered all 5 of the questions.
No, I haven't.
Asking her
I
any
didn't.
of them.
When I could do
she
it
tell me
over.
what's next.
She told me about her siblings.
No, that's not what's next.
She told me about her education. And she told me about her immediate family. Those are my 5 questions.
But she didn't ask me, right?
I'm gonna ask you still. No, but she's a Marsha, so she can come up with something.
No. But she never asked me. She asked him about sibling. You never asked him about education. Oh God, no, I could do it. I want her to ask me.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
You're watching Business Access TV.
Business Access. Business Access. Business Access.
Business Access.
You are watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV. Serious
about business.
Serious about business.
It's the last PSOJ President's Breakfast Forum for 2018, and Business Access TV, as usual, is here to bring you the highlights. I'm Javon Keys. Stay tuned.
Mr. Michel, so tell us about the theme for this morning's breakfast.
The theme for this morning's session is citizen security as a tool for effective crime management. It is intended to raise the awareness of what citizen security is, and shortly, citizen security is the level of confidence that the average citizen feels in his community, and how he feels about his ability to move around in his environment, and what structures the government, the state can place around the community to increase that level of confidence. How the police force and the security forces behave is critical to citizen security. So we're trying to raise the awareness of the population on citizen security and to make people realize that hard policing alone is not enough, that you have to raise the confidence of the citizens in what you are doing.
So how important is it for businesses generally to be concerned about citizen security?
Well, I think it's very important that the level of investor confidence and the level of the business community's confidence is raised, in that their stakeholders can come to work, their employees can come to work, that they can move freely around in the community, and that they will have certainty of operations generally in the society at large.
And for businesses out there considering being a part of the PSOJ, what are the benefits?
I think the benefits of the PSOJ are, among other things, that you get a platform to express your concerns, to express your interests. You get information. We have a monthly economic bulletin. You get President's Fora like this. And you also get to find out what's going on in the society that you operate in. Then we have networking. We have mingles on a quarterly basis, so you do have networking with other members and with important influencers in the society.
So firstly, tell us a bit about what First Rock Capital does.
It's really a real estate investment holding company which has as its core focus real estate investments and private equity.
So how important is a company like that now in this day and age?
Well, truthfully, real estate represents the most finite investment asset, and what it offers is above average returns and stability with respect to capital.
So this morning you're going to be inducted in the PSOJ. How does that feel?
Excellent. You know, the PSOJ's mandate is a very solid one, and you know, the PSOJ has been doing a lot of work with respect to, you know, championing and being an advocate for businesses and just the private sector in general. And what better way to express our support than to be a member?
So we're zoning in a little bit on the discussion this morning. It's about citizen security. How does your company play a role in that, or does that affect your company any at all, do you think?
I mean, you know, security, you know, continues to be a main issue and at the forefront as well of all major businesses and individuals as well. So anything that we can do to enforce or reinforce the importance of it, then, you know, it has our support.
Citizen security, in every sense, has become a vital part of effective crime management. And as we all know, The crime that currently pervades Jamaica negatively impacts human development, it affects our economic development, it touches our social and cultural rights at the local, regional, and international levels. We know this, that when a country fails to protect its people from crime and violence, it leads to a breakdown in the relationship between those in power and those who are being governed. Therefore, we have to ensure that the correct checks and balances are made to foster that relationship by creating the required community action plans, better citizen police arrangements, and having an overall coordinated system of crime control and crime prevention. We've seen the implementation of the states of emergency. We've also seen a number of zones of special operations being declared across several communities in the country in a bid to really put a cap on the criminal acts taking place in those areas. We've seen some positive results, certainly when it concerns St. James and the murder figures trending positively downwards. And we've also seen where acts of violence in general has trended down in these areas. What more can we do? We will explore all of that this morning. But we'll also talk about whether these approaches are indeed effective and how much more can be done in this area. Moving right into the rest of the proceedings, ladies and gentlemen, I now invite Mr. Howard Mitchell, President of the PSOJ, to deliver opening remarks.
The subject that we are going to discuss this morning is a critical but not a well understood one, I think, in this society. I think that it is fitting for the PSOJ to end the year with the same topic that we started the year with, which is the issue of crime. The issue that has plagued us every year for more than the last 30-odd years, that has become endemic, that has been written into the fabric of our culture, that children have grown up with, that women have had to learn to live with, that businesses have had to write in permanently into their balance sheet protective devices for their stakeholders. I think it is so important that we remove the callous protective indifference that we have developed towards crime and face it in its stark terms and understand its motivation, its structures, and how to minimize it. You will never rid a society completely of crime, but you can reduce its impact and the terrible consequences on your people. So that I think we want to raise the level of awareness of citizen security in Jamaica, because if we are going to move from growth to development, then we need to understand that our human resources, our citizens, the people of our nation, are the most critical component of that development. And you can have growth. You can, in fact, have growth that mitigates against development by increasing marginalization of a society and sowing the seeds for its eventual destruction. So we need to be mindful, and we need to start planning for that.
Don't go anywhere. We'll have more from the final PSOJ President's Breakfast Forum for 2018 after this break.
Taking the pain out of the audit preparation. Dawgan Global now offers audit management services, AMS. With AMS, Dawgan Global team manages your external audit process by providing the following. 1. Prepare and review schedules for your external auditors. 2. Prepare responses to your external audit team queries. 3. Assign our team members to locate supporting documents during field work. 4. Draft financial statements in accordance with IFRS to supply to your external auditors. 5. Provide guidance to your internal accounting staff regarding classification and recording of transactions. 6. Review your general ledger for accuracy. 7. Prepare necessary journal entries. 8. Prepare fixed asset register. 9. Prepare accounting and operational manual for effective internal control. 10. Liaise with the company external auditors. We work with your team to achieve timely and effective external audits, resulting in timely completion of your audited financial statement, while your current staff focuses on their daily activities. Contact us, info@doggin.global, website doggin.global.
Thanks for staying with us. If you're just joining us, you're tuned into BATV's coverage of the final President's Breakfast Forum for 2018. Let's head to the stage.
I now invite our President, Mr. Howard Mitchell, to make his way to the podium to present the certificates to our new members. So, our first inductee today has joined us as an individual member. Please join me in welcoming Nadine Burrows-Siaga. Nadine has managed Island Broadcasting Services Limited, better known as KLAS-FM. She has also worked with National Supply Company Limited, Stewart's Auto, Silver Star Motors, T-Tech Limited, and Prime Sports. 876 on the go. One of our new corporate members, to allow commuters to book cabs and make payments online, making transportation more secure for passengers and also for drivers. Bumblebee Digital Agency, specializing in targeted Wi-Fi advertising, digital marketing, social media management, and integrated marketing campaigns. The company has been reinventing how regional partners connect with their audience through its team of professionals and innovative concepts. First Rock Capital Holdings, an easily understood business model. By owning and managing properties that generate income, developing these properties and selling them for financial gain. Green Solutions International is a regional company created to advance energy and environmental sustainability throughout the Caribbean, with the goal of enabling energy-sufficient communities. Green Solutions International, welcome to the PSOJ. Michael University College. Joining us as a corporate member, Michael University College is the oldest teaching institution in the Western Hemisphere and continues to produce graduates who are critical thinkers and prepared to make an impact locally, regionally, and internationally. The Regis franchise is another corporate member being inducted this morning. Consistently providing client solutions, they deliver 100% managed and maintained workspaces as they continue to build their global footprint. Trend Media. They've successfully transitioned from being an online content provider to a full-service digital media house. One of its flagship e-publications, Loop News, is now identified as a credible local news provider. Let me once again congratulate all our inductees collectively.
To our panelists, thank you so much for joining us on a very important topic, one that certainly has dominated the news cycle and the national conversation where it concerns this issue of crime, but more so, citizen security. I want to thank you and we look forward to your inputs this morning. I want to start off with you, Mark Shields. What does it really take to deliver citizen security?
Citizen security, as far as I'm concerned, starts with some very basics that are important to all of us that live, work, come to Jamaica as visitors. I delivered a speech a month ago at the CIN lecture in New York, and I started the point by saying two things. One is, I've been in Jamaica for 15 years, and in 15 years, 20,000 people have been murdered, which seems an awful lot of people to me, and that's 20,000 people murdered, plus thousands and thousands of families, the victims the untold victims of people who have lost their husbands, wives, sons, daughters, cousins, aunties. So there's all of that group there, 20,000 people murdered. That's a stark statistic. And then we get back to living in Jamaica as it is today. And I have real concerns that before we get on to the technical side of community intervention and real building communities, that we're not doing the basics. It seems acceptable that traders in downtown Kingston can just take over the pedestrian footway. They can hang their garments in front of other shops. It's at a situation where many people who would like to go downtown dare not go downtown because they're in fear. It is also that when I drive to Montego Bay, and as a friend of mine just wrote to me yesterday, he said he is more fearful of driving to Montego Bay than he is of gunmen in Denham Town and elsewhere. Because as you know, because you guys do it as well, every time you drive to Montego Bay, you take your life in your hands because you see the bad standard of driving. And that is a real threat, and life should not be like that.
Yeah.
The third point I make is something that I've been, let's say, tweeting about over the past couple of months, and it perhaps became even more ironic last week into this week, that, again, the basics. If you look at the so-called licensed taxis in this country, where there are very clear rules and regulations that say that the windows must not be tinted, that there shouldn't be any markings on those taxis, that they should abide by the law like the rest of us, obeying red lights, not cutting up on the outside, all of that stuff that you guys live with every single day of your lives and causes you all stress. And I believe that we have to start by dealing with that. Now, people say, well, how do you do it? I'll take the last one first. There should be a war on licensed taxi drivers and unlicensed taxi drivers. It should be not just the police responsibility, because we always take that short-sighted view, well, the police aren't doing their job properly, but there's a transport authority, there appears to be a very vocal representatives for taxi drivers who came out last week because they were upset about the amended Road Traffic Act, which of course is a good thing, and is designed to actually bring us into line. So I feel that we can do a lot. We should be able to live in a normal society, and that means before we get to anything technical, we need to get those basics right. Not rely just on the police, but just take taxis as an example. There is no reason at all why the Transport Authority, the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the local authorities, those who represent the taxi drivers cannot get together and clear it up overnight, make it safe for us. We're lucky, most of the people in this room, I bet, drive their own cars to and from work. We don't have to put up with some of the terrible situations that other people crammed into taxis and buses have to. So I think we also have a duty to them to try to improve things.
We are up on another break, but please stay with us. We'll be right back.
The Good Life, your trusted source for useful health and wellness information, lifestyle tips for the mind, body, and soul. Tune in Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Thanks for staying with us. Here are more highlights.
From where you sit, Mark Shields speaks much towards institutional strengthening. But I want to put to you the citizen having a responsibility as well, and how the citizen carries out that duty within the democracy. Do you see Jamaicans stepping up to call for the kind of order that Mark Shields is advocating for? or are we merely bystanders?
Let me say, if I use the PSOJ and its president as an example, we would say that we're not standing up. In February of this year, the president called rightly for an oversight committee to deal with crime and violence. Now it is November, and we have not seen it. How many citizens, how many civil groups have supported that call is really inadequate.
We heard an announcement from the Prime Minister yesterday in New York saying that he's going to be setting up a commission on crime early in 2019.
Yeah, I heard it before that it was going to set up a summit.
Yes, we heard about the summit too.
Yeah, so it's not new. What I said on Sunday at a congregation in St. Thomas, and Mark Shields was mentioning 20,000 killed since he has been here. And I've been here a little longer than him. I said that if any year 500 persons were killed who are the brightest and best, influential leaders, we would find the resources and the time to make significant changes. In other words, because it's not affecting us so much, I live in a gated community. Some people have protective services, but anytime it starts to affect us greatly, we will do more.
This is where I'd love to bring you in, Richard Divins, because the question is, how much of a rights-based approach do we take in dealing with citizen security?
Well, this is something that the government has been starting doing in the last years, at least for a program that we have been supporting, which is the poverty reduction program. And in a certain way, the fact that we are supporting the social inclusion of areas of here in Kingston and other areas in Jamaica, the fact that we are trying to promote a better economy in those areas, we are trying to promote the safety, the social cohesion. This is something which is very much related in improving the security in those areas. And in this respect, it is very important. It's very important when the government, or together with international donors, we are supporting the design of a citizen security program in the social aspect of the citizen security, the participation of the communities in the decision-making of the activities, of the project, of the initiatives is crucial. Without the participation of the civil society, without the participation of the community, it's impossible to take ownership. We need the commitment of the people.
The question is, what are they committing to, especially when they already think that it's a sort of a one man against the world situation, the rest of the society is against them. They are there ensconced in their own, enclaves, so to speak, thinking that they abide and apply their own rules. Here comes now social intervention, trying to change all of that. But how much will social intervention be influential to the process? What else is needed?
Social intervention will contribute a great deal. It has been contributing and it will continue to contribute. But by itself, of course, social intervention will not do everything. You speak of citizen security as effective crime management. Citizen Security and Justice Program is out of the Ministry of National Security, but it has a component that deals with the Ministry of Justice. When we look at social development, we have to speak of citizen security, yes, but we have to speak of justice. We have to speak of rights. As you know, Peter Tosh has said, he wants equal rights and justice. Don't give me no peace, I want equal rights and justice. And unless citizens see themselves as owning or owning a process of development, of inclusion, they will not feel as if, yes, it is for their benefit. Our experience has shown and I'm sure JSIF and other agencies have shown, that residents of vulnerable communities wholeheartedly support and embrace social interventions when they are a part of the process. We deal with crime prevention. As you know, crime and violence is multifaceted. It has many different actors, many different players, many different sectors. We do not treat with crime control, or crime suppression, which we see as the work of the security forces. We think that crime prevention is critical to the development of Jamaica, to treating with crime and violence. And crime prevention starts before a child is born, and it goes way on into adulthood. We have not yet, and the chairman spoke about it, recognized fully the importance or the knowledge. We do not know how important crime prevention is, in that we have to treat with it in a sustained, multifaceted manner. In a nutshell, no ministry should get a budget passed each fiscal year without showing the country where in that budget is the allocation for activities to treat with crime prevention. Because it is so multifaceted, it touches on every sector. Every sector has a role to play. And let me repeat, no budget should be approved unless we can see where that sector, what that sector is doing. We welcome the idea of an oversight or a commission, because what we have observed is that the lack of collaboration among the sectors is one of the handicaps. It is something which causes waste, inefficiency, lack of adequate outcomes. And until the government can have a robust, very robust mechanism, institutional arrangement to ensure that there's collaboration between education, health, national security, all of these sectors working in their own way, but at the same time, designing together, implementing together, evaluating together. Until we get that, we will be groping in the dark to a large extent.
And that's it for coverage of the final PSOJ President's Breakfast Forum for 2018. I'm Javon Keys for Business Access TV, serious about business.
Dodgen Global offers a CPA scholarship program to team members who join our team. A career in accountancy at Dodgen Global is a great choice and can offer you excellent job prospects. We believe that an accounting education is the greatest gift you can give yourself or anyone else. Few gifts make as significant an impact as the gift of an accountancy education with a job. It's a contribution that lasts a lifetime in the form of learning, opportunity, and success. Join our team and get the opportunity to be part of our CPA scholarship program. This scholarships awards program will be administered by the HR department of Dodgen Global. Requirement: first degree in accounting. Employed at Dodgen Global. Willing to pursue the CPA examination. Here's how to apply. Submit application to Staff Accountant, Dodgen Global. Email sa@dodgen.com.
My name is Herbert Chung, Executive Chairman, Co-Founder, Honeybun 1982 Limited. You're watching Business Access TV, serious about business.
My name is Kamala McWinney. I'm the CEO of White Lotus Bridal Boutique and Design House. I started to mess around with YouTube videos, doing do-it-yourself craft projects, and I decided to make a hair clip. And I shared it with friends. They liked it. I started to make more. And then people started to order. At the time, I was an entrepreneur getting trained at the Branson Center of Entrepreneurship, Caribbean, in Montego Bay. And through networking, we got our first store space. Having our first location at Old Hope Road. So we were doing predominantly handmade accessories, bridal accessories mostly. So I thought to myself, most of my clients are getting married, so why not add the bridal gowns to the offerings? And so we started with 10 dresses, and that was back in 2012, and here we are today. This one is a size 14 mermaid by Maury Lee. We offer rental and sale of bridal gowns, and we also offer customized handmade bridal accessories, which include traditional veils, birdcage veils, feather fascinators, bridal belts, garters, and we also do cocktail hats for formal events as well. We cater to a woman who wants to stand out because a lot of our gowns are not cookie cutter in terms of the styles of them. We have colored gowns, we have some with a touch of blush pink, some with hints of gold and so forth. So we cater to a wide cross-section of women, but we also have offerings that will be suited for a woman who definitely wants to make a statement. I actually used personal funds for the first push to start everything. I used that money to buy a lot of raw materials for the accessories, as well as to acquire our first 10 bridal gowns. Well, we like to choose them bearing in mind what the average sizes of most brides is. So we kind of do it around that kind of a curve. We have most women being about an 8 or 10, but we also like to make sure that we have gowns for plus-size women because everybody needs to feel beautiful. So we currently go up to a size 22. Yeah, so we have from size 2 to 22 currently. And of course, in terms of styles, we definitely like to have styles that most people will go for, traditional. So we have white, of course, we have the mermaid shapes, we have ball gowns, but we also have a pop of color on some of the gowns because not everybody likes the traditional white gown. So we like to be a little bit different as well. We are right on the brink of profitability, so we're really excited about that part of it. We have one location that opened last year, May, that's in Fairview, Montego Bay. It's at Summit Business Center, and we just moved into Eden Gardens in December of 2015. So those are our two locations currently. Well, the Montego Bay location was selected because Fairview is like the thriving, center, the heart of Montego Bay. So we wanted to be as close as possible to the action. So we selected Summit Business Center, which is right there in Fairview. This location, we came to Eden Gardens, I think 2 years ago, for a fashion showcase put on by Helen G. And I love Eden Gardens. So I decided to, try that option of opening a space here because it's very accessible for those who are coming from Kingston as well as from Portmore, St. Catherine, and so forth. So it's definitely a plus in terms of location. We're very big on relationships, so we like a very intimate setup. So we like to feel people out. So Nikisha, who is our boutique manager here at Eden Gardens, she's actually a friend. She has been a friend for many years. I know her through church. And so it was a perfect fit. I knew her skill set, I knew her personality, I knew that she was well capable of handling this location. In terms of Fairview, Montego Bay, we have had 2 boutique managers so far, and those have also been friends of ours or referred by close friends. It's a very exciting culture. As Nikisha and Siobhan like to call me, I'm the queen of excitement. So all things pretty, all things beautiful, that makes me buzz. And it's a very laid back yet professional culture that we have. And once you step through our doors, you'll feel the warmth of White Lotus Bridal. Because I hate going into a business place and feeling as though I am, a hindrance or I'm an interruption of the day. So it's a big part of our culture here to be respectful to each other. All voices are heard, as well as to be warm to everyone that we encounter. So we open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. For me, I am pretty much always going, always doing something. So 10 to 6 is a typical, opening hours, but sometimes I have orders to fulfill, fascinators or birdcage bales. Myself and my business partner and cousin, Siobhan, we work mostly on that. Nikisha also has a creative side, so she's a part of that, hand-making team as well. So sometimes we go up to 9 o'clock, depending. And even though we close at 6, sometimes we have brides who will come at 5:45. And of course, in the interest of, good relations, we will accommodate them. So it's flexible. Being an entrepreneur is very exciting, but it's also very, very challenging. It takes everything that I have. And we're almost finished with the sewing on of the comb. So my time is very much a part of that. And we're using invisible thread to make it as seamless as possible. I am very busy, very often. My mother, God bless her, she understands and she's very supportive. My family is also supportive in general. So I am either on my way to something, on my way back from something, or doing something. There we have it. A gorgeous feather fascinator. So I have to try very hard to make time for rest and for, fun, letting your hair down. But my friends understand that not every weekend, we can link up and do something fun even though I want to. So I try to balance it, but it's difficult at times. So this is the feather fascinator. So White Lotus really gets much of my resources right now.
Accounting services. Providing financial information to our clients in a timely and accurate manner is a commitment that we feel cannot be compromised. Meaningful, well-organized financial records ensure that your business operations will run more effectively on a daily basis. Dodgen Global provides a full range of cost-effective accounting services, including the following: general ledger and financial statement preparation, bookkeeping, monthly, quarterly, annually, accounting system set up for new businesses, compilation of financial statements, audits and reviews. For more information and to discuss your requirements with one of our experts, please contact us today. Email info@dodgen.global. Website https://dodgen.global.
Have grown from 20 million US to now having 800 million US dollars.
Knowledge, skill, and professionalism. Those are my tools and my armor.
It's a big men don't cry, right? It's a big men don't cry, right?
We were being robbed some $531,000.
I've been angry to the point where I feel like I will get it.
Your weekly dose of information on nutrition, wellness, and fitness. Discover ways to nurture your mind, body, and spirit.
I'm Jean Laurichin, and I'm the Executive Director of ProCom, ProDev, and CCRP. BATV had heard about our outreach arm, which is a Caribbean community of retired persons. I think BATV is having a very positive impact. And as a result of that excellent feature, we got more members. So clearly people are watching BATV. I always say to my clients, you should have a 360-degree campaign. Do not limit yourself to one media house. And especially those who are in business, I think it's very important to include BATV in their portfolio.
Your business matters. Promote it on Business Access TV.
Hi, it's Novia MacDonald White, Senior Associate Editor at the Jamaica Observer. And guess what? You are watching Business Access Television.
The creative side of me is always seeking out new things because I hate to feel like I'm being stagnant. So I'm always seeking out the cutting edge in terms of trends in bridal fashion. How can I improve on my accessories, the quality and the design? So it's sometimes just by inspiration, but sometimes I make a conscious effort to search, to do my homework, to follow, some of the top bridal magazines to see what's happening. And even those things sometimes give me ideas on how I can, put a spin to it and make it my own. The bulk of our bridal gowns are sourced currently from overseas, mostly the United States, Canada, and England. The raw materials are also predominantly from, that part of the world as well, which is sad. We have been in the process of starting our very own line of Jamaican-made, Jamaican-designed bridal gowns. So we are very excited about that because we definitely want to be a part of Brand Jamaica and to support our local, talented set of, artisans who we have here. I've heard it all about the place in social media, etc. I've heard it said that people will forget what you say, but they never forget how you made them feel. And so for us, treating each customer that walks through the door, whether it is somebody who makes a purchase or not, somebody who may be rude or not, we are very big on treating everyone with, giving them our undivided attention and giving them the White Lotus, the royal treatment when they step through the doors. And it has worked because people tell people. Even if they don't find a gown that they like, they will tell their friends. Those people over there, they have good stuff and they're very warm. So that's a big part of how we, build and sustain our customer base. I think just the entrepreneurship journey and what it entails is it has challenges naturally, inherent in the process. Finding the funds sometimes month end, everything is not balancing the way you want it to. And you have to find creative means to make everything, make every end meet. So that's a challenge, those are challenges. As I said before, I have a network and I draw on them for, relieving stress. And also sometimes for a little financial, we do have a few investors currently, so that's a part of it. Another challenge I have faced is I have battled a life-threatening illness. Right in the middle of building White Lotus, the brand, I believe I was diagnosed with breast cancer at the age of 30, and it was right when we just moved into Angels in St. Catherine. So that was a major challenge. Interestingly, White Lotus was a part of what helped to be a good distraction for me. The creative side of it was a part of my therapy. So that's another major challenge I have faced. Sometimes just people clashes, partner vendors, or in a few instances, landlords. We've had some challenges there, but eventually everything works out. I have learned many hard lessons. The major one, I would say, is balance. I have had a 9-to-5 since I started the business. I still do. And so finding a way to not let the business suffer, while of course pursuing my own career, which is also, that has been difficult. I would say that I have learned through experience how to balance everything is the crux of it. So now I'm in a position to give more of my time to the business, and that is the ideal for me because the stage at which it's currently at, it needs myself and my business partner Siobhan to really be in it. So I'm currently at the stage where both of us are able to be more involved in the business, and I have seen that it definitely is having the results we want it to have. So I would say lesson learned, and we're the better for it. I'm being very strategic. Currently, my 9-to-5 is one that allows me flexibility in terms of time. So it's a perfect match for now. Eventually, I want to be full-time in the business. I'm also a clinical psychologist by training, and that's something that I practice. So I want to practice it moving forward as well, but of course in a way that allows me the flexibility to be here most of the time. So I'm moving in a nice trajectory, I would say, to be able to have it the way I want it.
With a lot of sparkly lace, and it has straps for those brides who want some support, especially for the bust area.
Well, preventing mistakes is not 100% possible, and we have come to realize that they can sometimes be very helpful. They teach us a lot. In terms of damage control, I find that being honest, owning up, taking responsibility is really the best way to go about it. Because trying to cover up and say, I didn't mean that or I didn't mean that, it makes people defensive, it makes people angry, and it doesn't solve anything. So here at White Lotus, if we do something wrong, if we offend, or if a bride takes offense, even if we meant none, then we own up to it, we apologize, and we take it from a standpoint of solution-oriented. What can we do to make it better? And we find that works for the most part. We are definitely working on our brand. We don't just want to be another boutique that sells and rents bridal gowns. So I find it very, fortuitous that we actually started out doing the handmade items, because that sets us apart from many other boutiques in Jamaica. And also it allows us to customize and give brides exactly what they're looking for in terms of the full bridal ensemble. I find that social media is very, very powerful in terms of a tool for marketing, Facebook in particular. That's something that we utilize heavily. Also, just word of mouth, just doing what it is that we want to impact the brides, the customers that come through the doors, and we find that they tell their friends and it spreads. I'm not willing to break any laws. I'm not willing to do anything that's against my, my personal set of values and my faith. But I would definitely put my everything, or continue to do that, into the business to make it succeed. So I would say I would not risk, ill health or anything that is very detrimental to my well-being or my family's, but I would definitely do everything I can to continue to push my vision. I've read quite a few entrepreneurial success stories, and I can tell you they are so varied in terms of the personalities behind them or involved in them, in terms of how the story took them, how their vision manifested. Some people failed many times before succeeding, etc. I believe passion is critical to the entire scenario. If you love what you do, not just love it, but if you are literally, if you are possessed by it, and when you go to bed, you think about it. When you wake up in the morning, you think about it. I think pursuing that and doing all you can to find the best ways of crafting it and making it, most efficient will definitely lead to success. It might take a while, but it will lead to success. For me, success is about doing the best at my craft. It's not only about the money for me. I get so much fulfillment from seeing a bride come in and getting exactly what she wanted, in the manner in which she wanted it, and go on to live, the dream married life. So for me, it's about not just taking somebody's money, but giving them the service I think represents White Lotus. My greatest fear is not business related, because especially after my experience with a life-threatening illness, I see things differently. So for me, the business is a critical part of who I am, because it has come out of my creative energies, but my greatest fear has nothing to do with White Lotus. To me, I trust the Lord. He gave me this vision, and I see Him every day opening new doors and just broadening our horizons, so I trust Him to take it to the stars. So my greatest fear would not be anything that, is business related.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
Have grown from 20 million US to now having 800 million US dollars.
knowledge, skill, and professionalism. Those are my tools and my armor.
It's a big men don't cry, right? It's a big men don't cry, right?
We were being robbed some $531,000.
I've been angry to the point where I feel like I will get it, baby.
What motivates me? Passion to make beautiful things and to see beautiful things. That's a big part of it. I also am motivated by how much I've put in already. So sometimes when I do feel like, listen, I could be on the beach, enjoying my weekends, you know, or just not having the stress of having to push a business, sometimes I'm reminded about how far I have come thus far, what I have accomplished. It's most gratifying to me when a bride steps in and says, I heard about you guys through a friend, or just heard about you guys somewhere, and I've heard that you're great. That reminds me that there is so much more to accomplish, and there's a lot more that we can do, you know, to serve all the brides of Jamaica and even internationally. So just the scope of what we have already put in and what's possible, right? And seeing how God has taken us from being in my bedroom making craft items at night before I go to bed to now having 2 locations in Montego Bay, in Jamaica. I think that's awesome. I would say my mother is one of my greatest inspirations. She is, I like to call her my backbone on this side of heaven. She's very strong, and she is the kind of person that when she puts her teeth into something, that's it. She's not going anywhere. So her support means a lot to me, and just the way she handles the challenges that life has thrown at her is also an inspiration for me. The flexibility. I like to have some control over my own time. That is priceless to me. Being able to do what you love and somewhat on your own terms, that's beautiful. To me, that's paradise. I would say to the faithfulness of God. I mean, there are so many other factors. People might say, I have done this correctly or I have done that correctly, but I know the inner story. I know the challenges and the questions and the doubts that I have had. I have seen that He is the one who has founded this idea, and He is very intent on making it successful. I would say Eden Gardens being opened is definitely one of them. The other one was the opening of the Fairview boutique, because I've had my sights set on Fairview for a long time, even before I had the location at Old Hope Road, because I was based in Montego Bay for my 9 to 5 at the time. So being able to actually, you know, have that dream materialize, that has been very, very priceless to me. And Eden Gardens is so beautiful, and it's so, you know, it's a great location. So to be able to be here in our small, beautiful boutique, it really, really makes me happy. Currently, we're the only bridal boutique that I know of that has 2 locations island-wide, so I'm definitely proud of that. But it's not so much on a big scale that I, you know, draw my definition of success. Just being able to service our brides and having them leave satisfied, having them come back, send us pictures, see us on the road and hug us, come back and tell Nikisha how great it was that they chose White Lotus for their weddings. What makes me happy is, on some level, seeing other persons who I love happy and being able to be of help to them. So being able to employ people makes me happy. Being able to create opportunities for them to expand their own visions of themselves makes me happy. Even as a clinical psychologist, being able to help people, you know, that makes me happy as well. And as I mentioned before, I love excitement. I love beautiful things. So being surrounded by, you know, bridal gowns and beautiful brides and accessories that I make, that's definitely part of what makes me happy. In my non-work time, I like to watch TV to unwind. I like to watch Law & Order SVU. I like to watch Stay Used to the Dress, but sometimes it can be annoying. So I like to just have quiet time, and of course I love to hang out with my friends, have quality time with them, just, you know, sometimes just chatting foolishness, just having a good time, just being able to relax and unwind. I've sacrificed a lot, as I mentioned before, finances, my time. About maybe 85% of what I have comes into the business in terms of, you know, just being attentive to it, managing all the aspects, being here to make sure things are done well as much as possible, which is not as much as I want to be. yet. Yeah, so I've sacrificed a whole lot, and it's very pleasing to see the sacrifices pay off. We are planning to eventually have our own line of Jamaican-made, designed by White Lotus bridal gowns of the highest quality possible. That's one of the things we're looking forward to. I'm also very intent on exposing the rest of the world to our handmade bridal accessories. So I'm working on that as we speak. Being an entrepreneur is hard work, but it can be very rewarding. I would say if you have an idea, don't discount it. That's the first thing. Believe in your idea. I would say research, read other entrepreneur stories, because it's not just about looking pretty on camera or rolling in the big money. It's about hard work, doing your homework, finding the best strategies, trying to, find ways to mitigate against failure, because failure is a real part of the entrepreneurial journey. So the first thing is have realistic expectations. Some people have an idea that generates billions of dollars in maybe the space of 6 months or a year. But that's not the typical, right, story. So I would say start off believing in your dream, be realistic, do your homework. And the sky's the limit. Don't let anybody tell you that your dream is not worthwhile or valid. It's possible to do great things with a simple idea.
Creating change, building a future, caring hands, giving back, touching hearts, and shaping lives. Impacting our world for the better.
I'm Candy and welcome to Chill Spot, Jamaica's ultimate leisure show. This season promises to reveal some of the hidden treasures of the lifestyle industry by taking you to the chill spots of some of Jamaica's most brilliant business minds, giving you a glimpse into how they choose to unwind and just pull a vibe. You won't want to miss what happens next. Stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Edmund Bartlett, Minister of Tourism, and you are watching Business Access TV. Serious about business.
Cameo delves behind the allure of the creative industries, going behind the scenes to reveal the growth potential and business opportunities that exist within the growing sector, dissecting its contribution and importance to Jamaica's economy, each week highlighting local creators in different categories: performing and visual arts, fashion, craft, film, animation, cuisine, and publishing. This week, we will recap our first season. With a booming photography industry, we feature local talent with that special eye.
I like to consider my style as being somewhat minimalistic. It's not always directly obvious what is being expressed, so you have to look at the layers that's underneath it.
I would say it would be a mixture of classic photography with a bit of urban art to it.
Award-winning photographer Howard Muyong spoke to us about that fateful night.
All of a sudden, after about 20 minutes, the time I light in flashing and thing, I hear Bob say,
"Could we have up here on stage here the presence of Mr. Michael Mann and Mr. Edward Siak?"
I know this was the moment. I just set the camera out from under my shirt and was ready. And I shoot manual, no flash, The lighting on stage is the lighting that illuminated these photos. And timing it, I'm just timing each shot. But what I could see through the camera, I could see the emotions of people, and I could see the feelings.
From getting the right single frame to an entire film.
You know, I wrote the screenplay because it didn't exist yet, and I had to write it. And sometimes you end up becoming a writer, not because it's your natural approach, but because you need a story. You know what I mean? Filmmaking is not a singular thing. I mean, the director is like the captain of the ship and kind of the one responsible for the overall creative delivery of the thing. But at the end of the day, you need a really good team of people. I mean, the better your team is, the better the work.
You have to be open to criticism. You have to also be open to learning new things and learning outside of being on set, reading articles, reading books, discovering new filmmakers, researching the older ones, the ones that, made it.
Characteristics that lend themselves to filmmaking is probably creativity, being open-minded, and definitely a whole lot of patience. What happens a lot in the filmmaking industry is things don't always go as you planned it. So whether or not you're working on something in Jamaica that's a little low-budget thing, or you're working on something in full-blown Hollywood, people are going to be late, stuff gets painted the wrong color. You know what I mean? That sort of thing.
And ready, and go!
Passion is integral as well, because it is a sort of industry where a lot of things will happen and sometimes things don't work out. And that's kind of life in general, but especially in the filmmaking industry, you find that things don't work out and maybe you work for months towards getting something done, and at the very last minute you realize maybe you couldn't get the funding for it, maybe your main actor dropped out, maybe the client, just all sorts of stuff,
Speaking of film, how about an animated feature?
Jamaica Animation Nation Network, or JAN for short, is a trade association for the animation industry, similar to what the Jamaica Manufacturers Association is for manufacturing, or the Jamaica Bankers Association is for banking. We're pretty much a guiding force and umbrella organization for the industry.
So by being on television, what kind of impact do you think Happy Chronicles had on the local animation industry?
Well, a lot more people saw animation and a lot more people got exposed to the art of storytelling through animation. And people began to see what was possible using our own stories.
So what steps do local animators need to take to get their work into mainstream media?
A very important part of that, I think, is storytelling, being able to tell a good story, and of course, be able to execute.
We explore the importance of continued support to our local theatre spaces. So what's the relationship between the pantomime and Little Theatre?
Well, originally the pantomime came first. It was the Fowlers who decided they wanted to have a little Christmas fun and do the pantomime, much like they used to do in England. So it started off with them putting on a play, this pantomime, and as it got more and more popular, they decided that it should become an institution. So they started raising funds to kind of make sure that they could do it each year. And so therefore the pantomime kind of came first, and then the Little Theatre movement came out of that. And from the Little Theatre movement, you get the Little Theatre.
Ashe started out doing a lot of original stuff. Back in Little People, we were doing musicals from Broadway. We were redoing musicals from Broadway. When we started Ashe, we started doing original stuff. It's the genesis of one of the productions that probably made Ashe very popular, which is called Vibes in a World of Sexuality. And so we were using the performing arts, which we were good at, to educate on social issues, to teach other young people about sex, about communication with parents, about the HIV and other STIs that were there.
DMH Productions is my initials, Dahlia Marie Harris, because I think it's an extension of me. I try to have the company do as many diverse things as possible, which is what I mean by an extension of me, because I want to be able to write plays, act in plays. I want to do different types of plays. I want the company to be able to offer opportunities for young talent to become exposed. That's a critical part of our mission. And I also do television production.
music.
Since Jamaica Carnival's introduction in 1990, Carnival has boomed locally.
In early 1989, I think timing was right. He felt the timing was right, and the momentum was there, and Byron Lee sat there and started to dream up Carnival in Jamaica. He formulated a plan to introduce Carnival to his homeland, Jamaica, and that was how we formed Jamaica Carnival Limited in 1989.
Tell them this is Tell them this is our time.
Like in 2010, I started off having 5 to 7 clients. Today, I'm now working on over 45 clients for that morning. So it's a very big production. I have a very big team for that day. And the routine is like an assembly line, and very smooth and productive.
Carnival by Candy is a carnival concierge service. So what I do is I package flight, accommodation, transportation, costume, and party tickets for various carnivals throughout the region. Basically to just create a seamless carnival experience for people.
In 3 years, we're going to be seeing several thousand tourists coming in for soca. And that cannot be stopped.
We go around Jamaica to visit a few of our most historical homes, each with their own little story. Our first stop, let's find out.
Cameo takes you behind the scenes of Jamaica's exploding creative industries to give you an insider's look at how creatives get the job done.
I'm really picky about how we treat our customers.
As creative people, we went a little bit over the top.
Each week, we interview innovators leading the charge in their industry. The chaos of creativity meets the stricture of structure on Business Access TV's Cameo. Let's take a look at those Jamaicans who are making moves in our local fashion industry.
What we do here at the Courtney Washington Fashion House is from design, to marketing. We market the product after they are designed and sampled. They're sampled and then, photographed, and then, then we start our marketing. An atelier is where you have a designer or designers, where you start from the scratch, really, from sketches to draping to pattern, and then to manufacturing. So the Courtney Washington brand, we do all our manufacturing domestically. So you find that here at the atelier, on any given day, we're always creating.
She is committed to establishing Jamaica as the fashion hub of the Caribbean and launched the Collection Moda, a series of events in 2010. Let's chat with Kerry and Clark.
So the Collection Moda was born from me seeing the need to assist, to share knowledge and so forth. And the mandate of the Collection Moda is to provide a platform for creative talent, not just fashion designers, but creative talent in Jamaica and eventually in the region, in the CARICOM, and help to give them a platform. So it's not a fashion show only, it consists of a series of events. We have a grant, a first global grant, where one person is awarded a cash award of $250,000. Last year we had about 90 applicants. This year we're hoping to have 120. We have a Moda Business, which is a business seminar where we invite persons internationally and locally who are industry specialists to share their knowledge with the attendees. We have a lifestyle magazine, which is an annual publication featuring not only local talent, again, but regional talent. And then we have Moda Market, and that is where the business unfolds. We have the invitation-only runway show.
America's Next Top Model was really hot. I thought, it would be nice to have something like this for fashion designers where you could promote the designers and have great prizes to help their career. And then Project Runway came about, and I became very active in the fashion cluster to, promote fashion designers. And I thought, something like a Project Runway here would be very good. We tried to get the franchise, but it was very difficult because Jamaica is a very small market and we can't support the millions and millions of US dollars that is required to put on a production like that. So we decided to do our own smaller scale production, and that was the birth of Mission Catwalk.
Hey, my name is Kurt Campbell. I'm from Jamaica.
Kurt, congratulations. You are the clear winner.
Winning Mission Catwalk 2014, it was breathtaking. Winning Mission Catwalk was the best thing ever happened because doing fashion shows, that's just it. After the fashion show, what happened?
Offering garment and apparel infrastructure at the national level is the JBDC. Ayana Dixon, a fellow Mission Catwalk alum, works with the JBDC support arm for small and micro businesses and offers advice and consultation to anyone wanting to enter the industry.
At JBDC, basically we're the support arm for small and micro businesses from the government, and my role here is to give hand-holding and consultation for people who want to be a part of the garment and apparel industry, not just fashion industry. So if you want to just have a factory for uniforms, we can help you set up that, the logistics, etc. We facilitate an incubator service also, so we have sewing machines and stuff like that. So if you don't have the resources to kind of start your own business and do your own thing at home, we're able to facilitate you here.
Laura Lee Jones is the head of the Textiles and Fiber Arts Department here at Edna Manley College. How would you say that Edna Manley College is now contributing to our local fashion scene?
The contribution to our fashion industry is that we'll have individuals who are trained, individuals who understand some of the fundamental elements of design, of art, and how they bring that to their design process as designers, as fashion designers, understanding the color dynamics, understanding fabric, being innovative, because we don't only focus on just buying fabric to create a style. You can make your own fabric, you can print your own fabric, you can dye your own fabrics. And that's the unique feature that Edna Manley brings to the program.
Rev Jewelry and Accessories prides itself on providing high-quality, one-of-a-kind jewelry pieces. We had a chat with the brother and sister team behind the brand, Tecia and Dwayne Bennett.
So Rev Jewelry and Accessories is handmade, one-of-a-kind pieces. They're very diverse in the sense that we use materials locally sourced. We use semi-precious and precious materials, that including stones, seeds such as the ackee seeds. There are 3 different collections in the Rev Jewelry and Accessories line. You have the Sweat of the Sun, which is the gold and red gold, red looking metal. We have Tears of the Moon, which is the silver, white gold, and we have Rain of the Earth, which is more the natural line.
Starting Rev Jewelry and Accessories, because we chose to build the company organically, it took a lot of work. And what I mean by organically, it meant that we didn't look for any capital from our loans to start up our company. Being the eldest of 3 siblings, I had wet my feet first by working. My brother's never worked for anyone else, he can boast that. But so I worked before, and that experience working here locally and also internationally kind of gave me a start with that. And also when we shared the vision with our family, especially, and our friends, they were so supportive. They still have been. We've gained so many friends through doing our business since as well.
We go around Jamaica to visit a few of our most historical homes, each with their own little story. Our first stop, let's find out.
Cameo takes you behind the scenes of Jamaica's exploding creative industries to give you an insider's look at how creatives get the job done.
I'm really picky about how we treat our customers.
As creative people, we went a little bit over the top.
Each week, we interview innovators leading the charge in their industry. The chaos of creativity meets the stricture of structure on Business Access TV's Cameo.
In this 1 degree, you're able to do many things.
I think the field found me.
I'd rather work with the deceased than work with the living.
Let us open your mind to careers you've never considered.
Miniature model maker.
Game technician.
Animator.
Empowerment.
Career moves.
Anywhere money is, that's where I am.
Kicking off our third segment are 3 local food entrepreneurs.
In any restaurant, there's a lot of things that you have to consider. The right staffing, the right location, and not only pay attention to great customer service and hospitality, but you have to consider the work around the back. And the back work is where what takes up a lot of the construction of a restaurant, if you want to say, because you have to analyze your food costs, you have to analyze your staff inputs, your expenditures, your suppliers, you have to organize a lot of these things and you have to get them on a timely basis.
It is most important that you know what the consumer wants. It's most important. I mean, before all else, well, obviously the name and the menu is the first and foremost, but the customer is what keeps the name and the menu there. It's what pays the staff. They're what, buy the uniforms and buy the food to make the dishes. So you need to know what your customer wants, and not only what they want, but what they don't want.
I'm really picky about how we treat our customer. I've always said without a customer, we're nothing but 4 walls. So we have to give you an experience. It's not just about good food, it's about the experience, and service is important. So finding good servers, good bartenders who understand the significance of customer service, of customer being the king, and teaching them how to go about it.
Opa! Made in Jamaica, bamboo and wood furniture.
Modern Woodcraft started in 1979. That was a period
when a lot of manufacturers were closing their business and migrating. So we entered the manufacturing business at that point, manufacturing furniture for homes.
The original bamboo factory has been in operation since 1990, creating quality bamboo furniture for every room in your home. I had a chat with Chief Executive Officer John Hamilton.
The process starts when you give the builder the design with all the particulars, dimensions, what he's to get. And then he goes out and looks in our stocks and selects all the bamboo that he would need for that. And those pieces of bamboo are cut into certain lengths that he needs. Once the builder has selected the bamboo for the certain job, he gives that bamboo to a scraper, and he or she scrapes the bamboo with a sharp kitchen knife and removes all the outer skin. This allows the bamboo to have a more uniform color in appearance, and it also gives it a better treatment process so that the chemicals can penetrate the bamboo.
Jamaica's art is as diverse as its culture. Donovan Fairweather's work has a strong Afrocentric theme, embellished with techniques of varied disciplines infused to set him distinctly apart. His works can be found throughout the globe, in the most prestigious of homes to the most humble, as his astute collection ranges from collectibles to fine art.
Over the years, I've developed a good clientele. Apart from that, I use the traditional way of mounting exhibitions, and I also sell some of my pieces, which I call the collectibles, through JBDC. For the high-end pieces, they'll be in galleries or private clientele.
Nanook Enterprises Limited is a social enterprise that empowers Caribbean artists and entrepreneurs to make a living from their culture and creativity by providing the resources that people need to materialize their creative vision.
Nanook is an intention, Nanook is a solution. We say that our approach is as creative as the persons that we're here to serve. So the name stands for nurturing all nuances of one's creativity. And we're at once a physical space that offers a solution in itself, and we're increasingly introducing a range of services, virtual and real, that we offer to our community. So we assist persons in film, fashion, dance, music, etc., in doing the development, showcasing, networking, the different aspects of what's necessary for them to do better business.
The works of legends like Capo and Manley, as well as newcomers alike, sell for thousands all over the world. But after the paint dries and the marble is polished, how do you go about the business of your art? Today, we take a look at Jamaicans' leading and cutting-edge institutions taking charge of the business end of the paintbrush.
The National Gallery was established in 1974 because it was recognized that there was a need for a national art museum. The Jamaican art movement had been growing exponentially over the years, and it was felt that there was a need for a specialized institution that would provide exposure, documentation, collection of art, and so forth. So that was the reason why it was established at the time.
A lot of young artists are no longer looking for gallery spaces specifically, they're creating their own spaces. And the thing is, when you are promoting yourself in that way, putting your work out there, you will come on our radar. And if we have a show that you fit in, then you most likely will be approached for that.
New Local Space really, we felt, really captured the spirit, which is contemporary, and it provides a platform for artists, and the space not only functions as a physical space, but it also functions as a space in terms of the World Wide Web, and we also function as a space that engages other spaces outside of Jamaica.
I hope you enjoyed this first season of Cameo. We featured many different talents within our creative industries. Please be sure to tune in for Season 2, starting January 2nd, 2016. I've been your host, Amitra Prasad Webb.
this one degree, you're able to do many things.
I think the field found me.
I'd rather work with the deceased than work with the living.
Let us open your mind to careers you've never considered.
Miniature model maker.
Game technician.
Animator.
Empowerment.
Career moves.
Anywhere money is, that's where I am.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.